On the phone, it is a pleasure to welcome back to this program Adam Green, one of the co-founders of the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, an organization that I think does fantastic work in finding progressive candidates early, supporting them not just financially, but basically, providing them a path to victory, which develops long-term relationships so that they govern in that way too. Elizabeth Warren is one of the great examples of a candidate who was was championed early by the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, and she has been one of those true blue progressives when it comes at least to things like financial reform and inequality in this country. Adam Green, welcome to the program.
Good to be here. I think you just gave the Progressive Change Campaign Committee's elevator pitch more succinctly and correctly than I ever have. So
I was just going to apologize for basically taking up all your time with your intro.
Just ditto what you said.
Well, now, so let's talk about. I know you've got to get to a conference call with the media because there was some very big, exciting wins. I mean, look, we're not going to take. I should say the Democrats are not going to take Congress back, and certainly progressives are not going to take the Congress in the short term. But it's very possible we could be seeing something different in the years to come. So we want as many progressives in there as possible. Let's start east to west. New Jersey.
Yeah. So first, before we go east to west, last night a lot of TV focused on this battle on the Republican side between the Tea Party and the establishment, right? But there really is a battle for the soul of the Democratic Party happening right now as well between the Elizabeth Warren wing and the corporate wing of the Democratic Party. And there's a bunch of open Democratic seats or vulnerable Republicans on the ballot this year. And we're engaging in these battles to make sure that we elect real progressives. So yeah, in New Jersey, Rush Holt, great progressive, retired, and Bonnie Watson Coleman, former Assembly Majority Leader, current Assemblywoman, one of Chris Christie's biggest critics, was a bold progressive in that race. And she actively campaigned, including in her paid advertising, on the idea of protecting and expanding Social Security and Medicare. Also talked about raising taxes on millionaires to pay for educational investment and investing in jobs. And this was a big race that we were heavily involved with. We literally helped her set up her campaign the first week. And thousands of our members donated to her campaign, made thousands of phone calls for her campaign. We placed staffers on the ground. And last night she had a really big victory. And she will likely go on to win the seat easily in November. And it's great to have an actual progressive there, endorsed by us and many members of the Progressive Caucus.
And she is making some history, I guess, in New Jersey. It's been a while, right? Since a woman has been a congresswoman from New Jersey, I think over 10 years.
Over 10 years, and the first African-American woman to be elected in New Jersey, my home state.
Is that your home state? I had no idea.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, that's great. That's great news. And all right, so let's keep moving east to west.
Sounds good. So, have you ever heard of any political significance in Iowa?
What is it that goes on in Iowa? Well,
something.
I know it's not just about corn, although that's a big issue. Iowa, of course, is where we establish maybe who's going to be president.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly. And hog castration too, right?
Exactly. That'll be a fun Senate race. I think it just got a little bit more fun thanks to that lady winning. But in a very important open seat, Bruce Braley, who's running for Senate against castration lady. What's her name again?
Ernst.
Joni Ernst. Right. Ernst. Okay. So he's moving up to run for that, and there was a very active 5-way primary to take his place. And once again, a very populist former Speaker of the House, current member of the House, Pat Murphy, was on the ballot, running on his record of raising the minimum wage in Iowa, bringing into Iowa pre-K, universal pre-K education, running on bold ideas like expanding Social Security benefits. And he also had a really big win last night. And he, attended our candidate training. Once again, thousands of folks chipped into his campaign, made thousands of phone calls for him. And it's, he's going to be a great partner for us in there. The fact that he is from Iowa should not be lost on anybody thinking about running for president.
And when you have a strong progressive, let's. This is a good time to break this down. When you're talking about off-year elections, you need candidates who are going to inspire the progressive base to go out and vote. You need people who are going to give a proactive reason to vote rather than the boogeymen are coming, because the right always sees more boogeymen. And so they're going to come out. So when you have people coming out to vote for Pat Murphy, that's also going to help Braley in his race against the woman who brags about castrating pigs.
Yes. I mean, there will be a very highly energized niche of pig castrators out for her, and we need equal and opposite on our side. And we do that by, castrating corporate power and things like that.
Ooh.
So Bruce Braley is actually the head of the populist caucus in the House, so it's really great that we have a populist at the head of the ticket there. But yeah, Pat Murphy was able to win because he inspired lots of people to come out and vote for him, and that's what we're seeing across the nation. I mean, turnout, it's not just a matter of taking a poll and seeing where people fall. It's actually getting supporters out to the polls in race after race after race.
And I got to say, the castrating the corporate agenda, I would rush down to the patent office with that right now, or the trademark office. Let's move.
You can hear more about that at castratingthecorporatepoweragenda.net. It's a new website we just launched.
If there is someone at the DTripleC right now who is not registering castrating corporate power for that race in Iowa, that is political malpractice. I'm sure there is. It's probably like a competition right now in the DTripleC offices to get that URL. All right, so let's go to all the way. I guess we're going all the way out west now.
All the way out west, not so far as Hawaii, where there actually is another very important primary happening in August, where Brian Schatz is on the ballot against the more conservative primary challenger for Senate. But almost all the way out west in California, a similar situation, great progressive Congressman Mike Honda, one of the folks who stood with Alan Grayson to say we will not vote for any bill, no matter what's in it, if it cuts Social Security benefits, one of the first out of the gate to embrace expanding Social Security benefits, a movement that we've talked about many times here. He was being primaried from the right by a corporate Democrat who got lots of money and started off with $1 million cash advantage over the incumbent progressive congressperson. And this guy had said that he would be potentially willing to cut Social Security for future beneficiaries. Well, that didn't turn out to be a very winning game plan, and he lost big last night. Mike Honda had almost a 2-to-1 advantage over this guy, and goes into the general election with the wind at his back. They actually will face each other again due to California's quirky jungle primary where the top two go to the next round. But if we see anything in the general election like we did last night, it will once again be a huge margin for Mike Honda. And that's why, and this was a very strategically important race for progressives to win, because we just couldn't be having a bold progressive congressperson being primaried from the right and losing. That would not be acceptable.
Yes, and California does have a very weird primary system where essentially you don't the parties mix together for the primary, and so we have a problem in California at times where Democrats split the vote, and we have occasions where there really should be, at the very least, a Democrat contesting that race, but there ends up being 2 Republicans. And so, all right, give me a sense of, is there a race that was lost or that last night that you're disappointed by? I mean, is there one that sticks out for you that we should note?
There is, and it actually directly relates to the point you were just making with California's weird jungle primary. There was an amazing populist progressive doctor named Lee Rogers who was raising a lot of money and was on the National Party's radar, one of our early endorsements. We actually hadn't been engaged with that race for a while due to the fact that it was just accepted that he was the Democrat. And then you had these kind of two crazy Republicans fighting against each other to be number two. Well, speaking to your turnout point before, they ran ads against each other, these Republicans. They drove people to the polls. By a weird quirk, they both ended up in the top two, and there's now no Democrat on the ballot in this newly open seat that became open after a Republican retired. So that's a real tragedy. It's not, I don't think it's an example of the Democratic message losing or progressive message losing per se. It is, the Democratic Party taking a hit due to this absurd jungle primary law in California that allows things like this to happen.
Let me add one more element to that, and that is that the DTripleC, not to be confused with the PCCC, the DTripleC is run by a guy who does not, who is not, even in a situation like that, where Lee Rogers is the only real opportunity for a Democrat to place in the top two, put, as far as I understand it, not a dime. Steve Israel basically ignored this race because you've got a candidate who's been endorsed by the Congressional Progressive Caucus, right? I mean, do I have that wrong? I mean, because there's another dynamic that's working here, is that where the PCCC wants to have a Democratic caucus that is reflective of progressive values, the DCCC functions as if, and probably does, wants to have a Democratic caucus that has a healthy dose of corporatist and conservative Democrats.
Yeah, it's a real problem, of our times that we're dealing with. It's partly based on the money and our broken campaign finance system, and it's partly based on a very broken conventional wisdom about where voters are and how to win a majority. To start with that point, we consistently see poll after poll, red state, purple state, blue state, that an Elizabeth Warren-style populist agenda, holding Wall Street accountable, expanding Social Security, taxing the wealthy, paying for massive investments in education and jobs, that stuff is just universally popular. It's not a 50-50 issue. It's not even close to being a 50-50 issue. The idea of cutting Social Security benefits is maximally popular at about 15% in any state. No more than 15% of the voters support that. So the idea that somebody is a quote-unquote centrist for wanting to cut Social Security, as they're often defined in the media, is just absurd. They are literally they're out on the fringe, with the 15% or below. But the false conventional wisdom that for some reason a position like that would be moderate, that for some reason Elizabeth Warren's positions aren't the center of the bell curve, is what leads some people to support corporate Democrats. The other reason is that corporate Democrats tend to be able to raise a lot of corporate money.
Right.
Sometimes they self-finance, and folks like Steve Israel incentivize that over values. What that cuts against is, as you said before, people actually being enthusiastic about voting on Election Day. So it's really unfortunate, and it is something that we're dealing with definitely across the nation. Adam
Green from the Progressive Change Campaign Committee. The website is boldprogressives.org.
Boldprogressives.org. Nearly 1 million folks strong, but we need you.
We will.
If you agree with anything we're saying today, check out two websites: castratingcorporatepower.net, still available by the way, or boldprogressives.org. And if you're really enthusiastic, help me out here.
Majority.fm?
Majority.fm. I didn't realize you had such an easy one. Okay, there we go. Majority.fm.
Yeah.
Where you can sign up, by the way, to join me as a monthly dues-paying member.
It's true. I get IMs from Adam occasionally, like that segment, and it's always exciting to hear from you that you're listening. Adam, thanks so much. Thanks so much for your work, and we'll talk to you soon.